All right, today we're diving into a brand new contender that's just stepped into the global AI ring. It's called Sarvam-30B, and it's India's really ambitious new entry into the world of large language models. So let's see what this thing is all about.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll set the stage for why India's entry into the AI race is such a big deal. Then, we'll get to know the model itself. We'll look at what makes it uniquely built for India, check out its official performance stats, and then, this is the fun part, we'll see how it actually holds up in a real-world creative challenge before we wrap it all up with the final verdict.
You know, for a long time, the whole AI landscape has pretty much been dominated by a few giants in the US and China. But that's starting to change. A serious new player is now on the scene.
And look, this isn't just another model being released, this is a statement. By putting out its own open-source models, India is really signaling its intent to develop sovereign AI. And that's about way more than just tech. We're talking data privacy, economic independence, and making sure cultural nuances don't get lost in a digital world. This is a huge step.
Okay, so let's properly meet the model at the heart of all this, Sarvam-30B. And you know, the name itself tells you pretty much everything you need to know about its mission. The word Sarvam, it's from Sanskrit, and it means everything or all. Now, what's so cool about this is how perfectly that name captures the model's entire reason for being, to serve as a foundational AI for the absolutely incredible linguistic diversity you find in India. Under the hood, it uses what's called a mixture of experts, or MoE, design. This is a really clever way to build an AI. Instead of having one gigantic model trying to do every single thing, you have a team of, in this case, 128 smaller experts. So for any question you ask, only a couple of the most relevant experts actually get to work. It's a brilliant way to get super powerful results without needing a ton of computing power for every little query. And that clever efficiency is so important because it lets Sarvam-30B focus on its real mission, delivering a deep, native understanding of India for its billion-plus people.
It was specifically trained from the ground up to master all 22 of India's officially scheduled languages. I mean, that number alone is just staggering.
And we're talking about a vast range here, from Hindi and Tamil to Bengali, Punjabi, and Urdu. What's more, it handles both the proper native scripts and the romanized or Latin script that, people often use for texting. This right here, this is its superpower.
So, here's a crucial point. This is a sovereign effort. The whole model was trained right there in India, using government-provided resources as part of the country's national Indian AI mission. This really highlights a massive strategic push for technological self-reliance.
Okay, so that's the story behind it. Now, let's see how it actually stacks up on paper. The official benchmarks give us that first exciting glimpse into how it does against some pretty well-known competitors. And honestly, the numbers are quite impressive for a model of this size. On the human eval coding benchmark, it's right there neck and neck with Mistral. And for general knowledge, which is what MMLU measures, it actually pulls ahead of both Gemma and Mistral. It absolutely holds its own, which gives us some strong credentials right out of the gate. But as we all know, benchmarks aren't the whole story, are they? So let's see what happens when we take Sarvam-30B out of the lab and put it through a practical, real-world test. So this is the real question, right? Can it go beyond those standardized tests? How does it actually perform when you throw a complex, creative prompt at it that's specifically designed to test its biggest promise, understanding Indian culture and language? And the challenge was ambitious, to say the least. The model was asked to generate a complete HTML file from scratch. This file needed to display a culturally relevant phrase in all 22 official languages, and it had to be styled like a vibrant mosaic inspired by Indian festivals like Diwali, Holi, and Eid. I mean, that is a tough test of its coding, creative, and language skills all at the same time. So, how did it do? Well, it's kind of a mixed bag. On the plus side, it totally nailed the main language task. It correctly identified and used all 22 languages in their proper native scripts. But, and these are big buts, the generation was incredibly slow. We're talking over 30 minutes. The final design was described as quite plain, and the cultural phrases, well, they felt a bit generic. So, they ran a second, simpler test. Just translate a single sentence into all 22 languages without even telling the model what those languages were. And again, it succeeded. It got the translations right. But that performance issue was still there. It took over 6 minutes to get the answer back. So what do we make of all this? When you put the impressive benchmarks right next to the real-world performance,
a pretty clear picture starts to emerge.
The pros are super clear. For a model its size, it has excellent benchmark scores, and, most importantly, it has state-of-the-art skills for Indian languages. The cons, though, are just as clear. Its practical response time is just way too slow right now, and its creative output could really use some more refinement.
You know, the reviewer's summary really captures it perfectly. A good effort. It's a powerful and really important first step that absolutely delivers on its core promise of multilingual understanding. But it also shows there's definitely room to grow when it comes to speed and creative flair.
Ultimately, Sarvam-30B is a landmark achievement. It really plants a flag for sovereign AI development in India. The foundation is strong, and it just raises this really exciting question for the future. If this is the first major step, what is the next one going to look like?